Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a group of missionaries make a long drive to our region to help communities rebuild after last year's flooding. And an Eastern Kentucky school system is getting some outside help to put on a show perfect for the family to enjoy.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is now 5:35 on June 8th. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Now, Brandon, we're going to see some pretty nice temperatures, I think, in your book today, around 75 degrees.
Perfect weather in my book. Now, I know a lot of folks, you included, are ready for warm weather, but got to take what the good Lord gives us at this point.
I'll agree, though. 75 is a great temperature.
Exactly. Thank you. I appreciate that. But again, for people who are not built for heat like me, it's perfect weather out there today. But this morning is still a bit on the foggy side, still a bit on the cool side. Let's take a look at our visibility numbers right now, and you'll see they're close to zero in many, many locations this morning, including downtown Somerset. So the circle hard to see there this morning. Continue to be careful, continue to slow down, use those low beams, give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Temperatures out there across the region, 40s and 50s are still dropping in Wayne over in West Virginia and Clintwood, 47 and 49 respectively. 59 on the other end of the region there at Somerset and Monticello. The warmest spots of the region, 60, Manchester and Harlan. So again, 50 for most of us by about 7 o'clock, but some spots may be still a touch warmer region-wide. 70s down there in Atlanta, 72 there, 74 Memphis, 74 Springfield, but you can kind of see where the cold front has already been. 60s, St. Louis, Nashville, Knoxville, Charlotte, Myrtle Beach, and 40s as far north as Columbus and Pittsburgh. Yes, it is early June, and it's in the 40s in Columbus and Pittsburgh. Today's breakdown, 75, no rain, perfect day out there. It's going to be a little bit cloudy and foggy to start the day, but after that, lots of sunshine and a fairly nice day there, especially for early June. Olivia?
A group of church missionaries traveled more than 6 hours to help rebuild after last summer's flood. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more on why they felt the need to come and why it is important to continue rebuilding as we approach the one-year anniversary of the flood next month.
More than 20 missionaries from the North Star Church in Perry, Ohio, have come to Eastern Kentucky to help rebuild a new home for a woman who lost everything in the July flood. Kathy Kreitz is the organizer of the project, and she says this is something they do often.
We've been doing disaster relief ever since Katrina. So every year we take a team and go someplace where there's a disaster.
However, this is not the first time the group has been to the Commonwealth.
Last year we went to Madisonville and Dawson Springs where the tornadoes hit, and we did reconstruction there. We helped do drywall in a couple houses and work down there.
When they saw the damage from the flood, they knew they needed to come.
We decided to come down here. As soon as they hit, we knew, because we experienced flooding before, so we knew a little bit about what they were facing, and we just felt this is where God wanted us to come.
She says they are here to help those that still need it.
And we knew that we're not first responders, so we come in later when the insurances are done and all the help is left, and then we come in and pick up and try to help those that got left behind.
Bonnie Martin is a member of the North Star Church, and she says it's important to continue the rebuilding process.
It's the most important part. Sorry. It's the most important part for me, I guess, because it's hope. And that's what God gives you is hope. He promises hope. He promises to stay there with you, and she knows it.
Kreitz says their goal is simple, to give back and be the hands and feet of the Lord. In Hazard, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Kreitz says the group will be in the area until Saturday. She says they will continue helping people wherever the next disaster takes them. In Breathitt County, the Missoula Children's Theater is in town helping Jackson City schools put on a play this week. The group travels from place to place weekly, helping to teach students an entire play in 1 week. They will be performing Cinderella this Saturday at Jackson City Schools Gymnasium. The students are glad to have an opportunity like this brought to the community.
Because we don't have that many opportunities down through here, and I figured when they came, I might as well take the chance. And it's been a great experience. It's a lot of work. It's very challenging, but I like challenges like this.
Admissions for the play this Saturday will be $10 for adults and $5 for children 6 and older. The city of Louisa is cracking down on fireworks with an ordinance as the 4th of July holiday approaches. The Louisa Police Department's Facebook page says fireworks may be used on July 3rd and 4th between 10 a.m. until midnight. In order to show any other displays or use fireworks, community members must file for a permit through the city clerk's office. That application then must be approved by the fire chief and the mayor. Applications must be submitted 15 days before the display or use of the fireworks. Any violations of the ordinance will result in a $500 fine. The city of Louisa will have its fireworks on July 1st at 10 p.m. As the summer travel season kicks off, you may have plans to visit Mammoth Cave National Park. And a new bill is looking to expand the park to preserve its heritage and protect the wildlife within the park. The Mammoth Cave National Park Boundary Adjustment Act was introduced by Kentucky Congressman Brett Guthrie and U.S. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell this week. If it's passed, the legislation would allow the park to expand 980 acres to include the Green River watershed and extend the park's southern border through Edmondson and Barron counties. Officials say Mammoth Cave National Park brought in $69.2 million in economic benefits in 2021. An Eastern Kentucky attorney is being recognized for the volunteer work he has done in the courtroom for the past 9 years. And as WYMT's Keaton Hall shows us, his work is not over yet.
For 9 years now, Ned Pillersdorf has worked to represent the victims of a Social Security disability fraud perpetrated by attorney Eric C. Kahn.
We have represented former Kahn clients in more than 2,000 hearings, 250 federal court cases, and we've been largely successful. Thousands of former Kahn clients who lost their benefits, we've been able to get them back.
Pillersdorf has represented all of these clients for free. Now he's being recognized for his work by the American Bar Association.
The way I look at it, if you're on the playground and you see a bully beating up on a vulnerable person, what do? You know, I've got a law license, and my fellow volunteers, we have law licenses. We can fight for these people.
The ABA Pro Bono Publico Award is a prestigious national award that's given to lawyers who volunteer their services to disadvantaged people. But Pillersdorf doesn't take the credit for himself.
You know, I'm scared to say, where would we be without all of these wonderful lawyers swarming in from all over the country to represent our vulnerable neighbors who, in my view, have been under very unfair attack.
Through Pillersdorf's massive team effort, hundreds of Kahn's former clients have had their benefits reinstated. But Pillersdorf says his work isn't done.
I've done 15 hearings this month. I did 3 yesterday. It's certainly not over, but we will fight them till the end of the earth on behalf of our vulnerable neighbors.
Pillersdorf says he's the first person from Kentucky to win the award. In Prestonsburg, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
While fighting the Social Security Administration, officials say Pillersdorf has created the largest network of volunteer lawyers and law students in American history. The effort to destroy chemical weapons at the Bluegrass Army Depot is nearing its end. Officials began destruction of more than 100,000 projectiles and rockets in 2019. There were 5 different types of munitions, which they have now gotten down to just 1. Around 87% of the weapons have now been destroyed. Once it's over, they say the focus will be on trying to keep the workforce in a job and in this community.
This is a very, very well-trained, professional, highly security cleared group of people whose skill sets are enormously useful to a multitude of industries, some of which we're trying to attract here.
Under the treaty, the U.S. committed to completing the destruction of these weapons by September 30th, but they say it could be done as soon as next month at the rate they are going. Just ahead this morning, Tom Holland decides to take a break from acting after one of his recent projects takes a toll on his mental health.
And while the rain chances are gone for now, they'll likely be back at some point this weekend. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.